while we did get a bunch of allied races quite recently, realistically, Warcraft universe is gigantic. There are a million different creatures, beings, and ones we can play are actually a very small minority. Blizzard did say that Shadowlands won't give us any new playable races, but seeing that they told us in an interview that we are returning back to Azeroth in the next expansion as we return from the afterlife, and they skipped adding races now, the expansion after Shadowlands might just be the perfect opportunity to introduce a few really interesting ones that the players have been requesting since forever, as well as some newer ones, maybe ones from the Covenants within the Shadowlands. As the next expansion may be based around revisiting older zones on Azeroth, this could be just what we need, the perfect opportunity to make it happen. So what are some of the races that would make a really great addition to World of Warcraft that we could play as? This video sponsor is GEMSTONE Legends. However, this isn't just any sponsorship, it is a special one as it is a contest you can participate in, and you can join the battle to win the main prize, iPhone 13 Pro or Samsung Galaxy 21 Plus, as well as smaller prizes such as Google Play or Apple Store gift cards. GEMSTONE Legends, highly rated on both Android and iOS, may appear simple on first glance, but it is actually really complex, combining puzzle elements with strategy, character and weapon collection, a rich meta, and various combat modes. What I like the most about it is it is a perfect game for you when you just want to relax, kill some time, but also keep your brain occupied, and best of all, as a mobile game, you can do that anywhere. As a part of the contest, if you get the highest score among competitors, you can win an iPhone 13 Pro as well as Samsung Galaxy 21 Plus. Once you're done with the tutorial, you'll automatically get this starter package with Morelia, best healer for an easy start, as well as potions, gems and money so that you can start even faster. You can find me under the name Doronsmovies, so use my link in the description or the QR code and join me in GEMSTONE Legends. And don't forget to visit the contest page in the description as well. Ogres. Few people know, but ogres are actually a part of the Horde. Not a significant or a large part of the Horde, but they're officially within the faction. Yet, there is like approximately 3 occasions where we can actually see them in game or interacted with any friendly ogres. Honestly, with how powerful ogres are, you would expect them to be used as weapons in important military campaigns. Back in Warcraft 3, the Stormmaul were recruited by Rexxar into the faction, but also the Mokrantal are unofficially a part of the Horde, half ogre, half orcs. They're even less represented and are very few in numbers, but they would make a really interesting addition as well. You just imagine a Rexxar type playable race. Realistically though, the ogres would make a perfect choice for us to play as them. They have been in Warcraft since Warcraft 1. We even played with them directly, and they have been present in World of Warcraft since Classic, pretty much up to the Shadowlands, and their lore is vast. We've learned everything from them being dumb brutes and mercenaries, me smash you, up to going to alternate Draenor and learning about their ancient empire and how they were one of the most intelligent and powerful races on the entire planet. Now, I know there are some problems in them becoming playable, but really, they're nothing major or anything that couldn't be fixed. Realistically, there are 2 issues. One is the lack of females, and the second is their size. In regards to females, I think this is the least of their worries, as they could come up with a concept quite easily, and it wouldn't even really be strange if they added them. For example, Dreadlords were always males throughout Warcraft history, yet in Shadowlands they decided to add females, and really, they looked great and totally fit the team. I think the same can be done for the ogres. Now, in regards to their size, sure, they would probably be the biggest race in the game, but they can't be scaled down for gameplay purposes. Ogres are huge, but they're not that much bigger than the Tauren or the Kul Tirans, so it's not like they would add a Magnator or something crazy like that. Overall, this might just be the most realistic race that could be added to World of Warcraft with a ton of lore and gameplay reasons backing them up. Ventier. I am aware that Blizzard said that we won't be getting any new races in the Shadowlands, but without a doubt the Ventier could be realistic after this expansion is over, depending on how the events unfold at the end of 9.2. The Ventier are a race consisting of primarily 2 parts, the original ones such as Prince Renatol and the court that were created directly by Denetrius. However, most of the other Ventier are actually redeemed mortals from various planets that decided to continue their purpose within the Shadowlands. Just because of this fact, they may be incredibly incredibly interesting, as technically they are their own race, but they used to be something entirely different in the past. Additionally, the Ventier really are perfect to be playable. They're humanoid, so there would be no problems with armor, sizing, or whatever else, and they have a really unique and interesting look, vampire-like, which I'm sure most people would just love to play as. Aside from that, they're well developed as well. They can be most classes outside of obviously priests of the light, but I could see them as anything from rogues to warlocks and warriors. Now, while they're sort of immortals and live in the Shadowlands, you know, big things will be happening now as the jailer plans to undo reality, so it is entirely possible that the afterlife will never be like it was in the future, and that Azeroth and the Shadowlands could merge, or that there could be some sort of transfer there, we just don't know. Seeing that a large portion of the Ventier rebelled against Denatrius and the jailer, this could be a perfect opportunity for them to join us as a future playable race. Fischl are without a doubt one of the coolest people in the entire game. They're like humans, but they're like 10 times cooler. Fischl are actually the original humans, and they're vastly more powerful than their shriveled up, downsized descendants. They're essentially giants or half giants, and if they became a playable race, they might just be the best race to pick up for a warrior. Now, I know what you may be thinking, sure, the Fischl would be cool, but isn't that train kinda long gone? We already had two excellent opportunities, Wrath of the Lich King and Legion, where they played quite a major role, and you may be right, but I don't think that might just be the end of it, as Blizzard have confirmed that we will be returning to Azeroth in the next expansion, and there are a few hints for things happening in Northrend with the Lich King. This might just be the perfect opportunity for them to join one of the factions. For a playable race, they would make a perfect addition, and they would be really easy to implement. First, they have really well-developed lore, they're developed overall as a concept, and they could literally be added to one of the factions without much thought. For example, we know what they look like in various versions. They're humanoid, like literally humanoid, and they have robust classes that we have seen throughout the expansions. We have seen everything from mages to shamans to warriors to death knights, so they could literally fulfill almost every role in regards to the classes. Much like the Ogres, they do have one big problem, and that is that they're like half giants and are larger than any other playable races, but yet again, they can be scaled down for gameplay purposes. Sure, they're huge, but they're not that much bigger than the Tauren or even the Kultirans. They're kinda around the same size, maybe a bit bigger. Tauren, for example, are actually gigantic in the lore, yet they're not that ginormous in the game, so the same process could be used for the Fischl as well. Kyrian. The Kyrian are realistically looking probably as one of the best races that could definitely work for being playable, although once again they're a Shadowlands race, so that may or may not be added, and there are just a ton of complications there with the story. All of it will obviously depend on what will actually happen at the end of expansion in 9.2. However, the Kyrian are angelic souls that lived a life of service that ultimately go through a process to serve in the afterlife, helping Bastion. We even had major characters such as Uther become one of their own, which means if they become a playable race, he could be one of the leaders helping us. We also have seen them all throughout the expansion and even the dark versions of the Kyrian that serve the jailer, so a twist there could be added. In terms of classes, the Kyrian could literally be anything from warriors to priests to paladins, although not sure how they would wield light exactly. That cosmological stuff is still kind of mysterious. However, look-wise, they would perfectly fit a playable race and are literally like bluish human types. Because of their angelic looks and the relatively unique visuals, I think the Kyrian would make a really interesting playable race for the future of World of Warcraft. Taskar. This is like the race that people have been requesting since Wrath of the Lich King. Now, I know people are mainly saying this for a meme, but let's be real, these guys would make a perfect addition to the game. Come on, we can play the Volpera that Blizzard made up like a few years ago, yet the Taskar have been a part of the game since Warcraft 3, and they had a pretty prominent role in Wrath of the Lich King. The Taskar are a well-developed race with an expansive culture, language, and there are also a ton of their own classes, from spearmen to warriors to rune masters, healers, and yeah, you get the point. They could pretty much fill any role, except maybe paladins. However, would be hilarious to see a Taskar paladin leading the righteous crusade of the Naru. Overall, they're humanoid, so they could really easily be introduced without any big limits on size, armor, weaponry, and all those shenanigans. Just like the Vrykul, I know that train kinda passed with Wrath of the Lich King, but hey, who knows where we'll be going on Azeroth in the next expansion. If we go to some undiscovered island, we can maybe find a colony of their own. At the same time, it is also possible to return to Northrend. There's something maybe happening there with the Lich King if he is created, so this could be a perfect opportunity for playable Taskar. Brokers. This seems a bit unreasonable, but with how the Shadowlands storyline is unfolding, you never really know. It wouldn't be the first time we had NPCs that turned into an allied race in the future, so the Brokers are an incredibly mysterious race that is apparently native to some realm in the Shadowlands, and they're amongst one of the most intelligent beings in the entire universe. Brokers are like if goblins and dreadlords had a child and then left it within the Shadowlands. They value knowledge and information, but they also accumulate quite a bit of wealth, which is mainly a side effect as they're set out to learn the secrets of the universe and whatever else there is. Now, we learned that some of them actually managed to reach Zereth Mortis and sort of abandon their lifestyle of greed, and it seems like they will aid us in some way. So this could be a really interesting storyline for the Brokers to join us, as well as characters like Ventier that were allied to us and hopefully are still allied to us. In terms of the race, they're a bit weird with their shape, but we are actually getting some Broker type armor in 9.2 that we can wear, so it wouldn't be unreasonable as they're sort of humanoid, so they may work in a way. It is also possible they could get a different form if they leave the Shadowlands and come into the material plane. Class-wise, they could probably be anything across the board as they're so intelligent as well as experienced. I'm guessing with all the cosmological forces, so really they could just take on any shape. However, ultimately, I think they're one of the least likely races on this list, despite them making a really interesting addition, mainly due to them being very ethereal-like. Naga. One of the most iconic races since Warcraft 3, and immediately, I know what you may be thinking. Really, if they didn't add them in BFA when we went to fight their queen and creator, we're never really going to see them. And you do have a point there, but the tables can definitely turn. The Naga are essentially highborn night elves that joined the old gods in a vague manner as they fell under the sea during the Great Sundering. All of you that played BFA are definitely quite experienced with them. However, as you know, despite Ashara being prominent in the previous expansion, her story never really ended, and it really is an open book, as it is almost confirmed that we'll be returning to Azeroth after Shadowlands. A whole bunch of things could happen. As we knew, Ashara was trying to backstab N'Zoth, a big arc could happen with that, a void invasion, old gods again, and this time Ashara trying to join us to save Azeroth, or rogue Naga that abandoned her. Well, it won't really be the first time, so a bunch of things could really happen. Plus, as you know, she got most of her power from the Well of Eternity, which was literally the blood of Azeroth, and with the whole story of the World Soul, the Sepulchre, and all the big things happening, this could also be a really big point of interest. Now, the biggest issue with the Naga is hands down their shape. They're humanoid, but not really humanoid in the type that would serve as a good playable race. Most importantly, they don't have legs, and this could make it difficult for armor, but not really impossible. I'm sure a solution can be found if they really want to do it. We already have races with hooves, sure, a lot easier to handle, but they're definitely not feet. Additionally, a new storyline could be developed, the Naga getting a different form. As the old gods are no longer present, the Naga could have like a void elf form, which could be a mix between the current Naga and the elves. However, since Warcraft 3, I always wanted to play as a Naga Myrmidon, so seeing that in-game would really be awesome. Once again, check out Gemstone Legends using the QR code or my links in the description and you can win great prizes.